I want to be a spiritualist and become elevated. At the same time, I want $1 million in the bank. I want a Ferrari out the front.
The whole system is based on this sense of scarcity and sense of needing more and being different.
We have to walk this tightrope of guilt and forgiveness. And each of us has to make a decision based on our own level of consciousness.
Material possessions, they aren't inherently good or inherently bad, but it's about how we use those material possessions. And if we use them in service of a higher good, then surely there's not so bad.
A comfortable life and the attainment of spiritual realization cannot go together. False renunciation is also something to be avoided.
Before we jump into this episode, I'd love to invite you to join this candid spiritual community to hear more conversations that will help you become happier, healthier, and more healed. All I want you to do is click on that subscribe button because I love your support. I love seeing all the comments pouring through, all the love pouring through, and we're just getting started. I can't wait to go on this journey with you, whether you're a spiritual seeker or you're just curious about the topic. And we really hope that our conversations will provide you food for thought and inspiration for your own spiritual journey. So join us for honest, candid discussions about spirituality for soul's sake.
For soul's sake, for soul's sake.
Hello and welcome back to a round table episode of For Soul's Sake, a conversation in which we bring to you deep spiritual thought in conversation with two of my very dear friends. We've got Nāma again back today and Stine on the other side. Welcome back, Stine. Thank you so much for being here again. And today our topic is around the desire for success, being ambitious, and a leader even as a spiritualist. Is it okay? Is it correct? How do we do it? If you've got some initial thoughts or questions, drop them down below. What do we think? Spiritual ambition, success.
I would start off by challenging that whole
Go on,
notion.
let's go for it. Let's go. Let's go.
Everyone's always trying to find like a happy medium between like their desires, right?
All right.
I want to be a spiritualist and achieve like detachment from things and, become, elevated spiritually in wisdom and knowledge and navigate this world without being disturbed. At the same time, I want $1 million in the bank. I want a Ferrari out the front.
What's
and I
wrong
want a
with
mansion in Hampstead Heath. And it's like,
We're talking about you already got it.
but it's like, come on. Like, is all of that really going to be conducive to your spiritual life? I'm just putting it out there as a bit of fun, but it is conflicting. And I think when we see a lot of like spiritual leaders and it's got a bit of a gold watch on. Oh, they're in a nice car. You're supposed to be like a Swamiji or something.
Yeah.
And
Why are you flying business class, Swamiji?
Yeah, and it's a bit like, whoa, what's going on there?
Yeah.
I don't know if I think it is conflicting, actually. So, okay, let's take the example of a charity. So when people give to charity, they don't want to give to charities that have large admin overheads, right? But then imagine a company like Apple or Microsoft being run without large admin overheads. That's ludicrous, right? So for me personally, if I give to a company, I want to know that it's run well and efficiently. And that means large admin overheads because we know that from successful businesses that's what they have. So I think similarly, I think that it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not spiritual just because you have a gold watch. But if you're attached to having the gold watch,
Here we go.
that's the problem. And I think you both know that I love this concept of yukta vyagya, which is, it sort of translates to engaged detachment. And there's this idea that material possessions, they aren't inherently good or inherently bad, but it's about how we use those material possessions. And if we use them in service of a higher good, then surely there's not so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, a knife in the hand of a surgeon or a knife in the hand of a thief. The knife itself isn't inherently bad, good or bad, but it's what it's being used in yukta vairagya.
And whether we are attached to using the knife.
Whether you're attached to using the knife.
Yeah.
What if
Oh, he's in a challenging mood today.
Yeah,
I
and
know, I
was
like
thinking
it.
because
I'm into it.
I like this
It's-
feisty Nam.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just
good conversation.
probably the hunger kicking in.
He's just hungry.
I've got to feed him.
I'm grumpy when I'm hungry.
What?
Oh my god.
What do you want to eat?
Huh?
What do you want to eat?
Oh, that's a dangerous question to ask me when I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I'll make all the unhealthiest decisions ever.
Tofu vegan.
Tofu vegan. Oof. Or you know what actually bangs is have you ever been to Club Mexicana?
No.
It rings
It's
a bell.
Mexican. They do a really good vegan burrito.
Oof.
Okay,
It's like
now you're
barbecue.
talking.
Oof, it is good.
Are spiritualists allowed to eat in restaurants? And how
But-
much can you spend?
But this is exactly the point. How can I have an attachment to this barbecue burrito, eat it, and have a desire to become detached from that desire one day? How can I have a Ferrari and this and that and whatever you may
And
have?
one day I'll be detached. One day I'll be detached.
And then, does that not just put more fuel on the fire? Have
Well,
you?
I suppose the key is just if the burrito comes to you, you're happy. If the burrito doesn't come to you, you're happy.
Mm.
But if I've got the money to it,
If I can have the burrito, I'm having it.
it's true. It's true. I think that, look, from the Bhagavatam perspective, I only know of one verse that very categorically says that a comfortable life and the attainment of spiritual realization cannot go together. Similarly, we understand in the Bhagavad Gita that false renunciation is also something to be avoided. So you're kind of always playing this tightrope of one way is renunciation and too heavily will make it false renunciation. And that results, we understand, as a stone-hearted, cold, kind of hard-hearted experience then among other people, because you start criticizing and judging others for doing things that you're not. And then the other side is this super liberal, drive your Ferrari, eat your Club Mexicana whenever you want, and have a Krishna statue somewhere in the house. So it's like there's this definite tightrope, and I'm not saying that either of those examples I gave are exactly what I'm trying to propound, but the fact is that we're having to walk almost this tightrope between guilt and forgiveness. And it's something that Radhanath Swami shared with me, that we have to walk this tightrope of guilt and forgiveness. And I personally think that each of us has to make a decision based on our own level of consciousness. I don't think it's a black and white. I think it's a completely obscure and abstract concept. Of course, we aim for simplicity, and of course, we aim for the more renounced route as Bhakti yogis that Bhagavad Gita tells us that we should try to live like that. Simple living, high thinking, high consciousness. But we're also spiritual beings within a material body. So,
This concept about simplicity is really interesting.
Yeah.
Because I looked at myself and I thought, quite a few years ago, I thought I was a simple person. I thought I could do without much, and to an extent I can. But then actually I dug deep and I was like, no, I'm actually very complex. I've got a complexity of desires. I would like a bit of this.
He's really
bit of that.
complex, Radhika.
I know, I've known him for a
It's
long
true,
time.
right? So I was like, but what does simplicity mean? And then I thought, simplicity is not about physical simplicity necessarily, but it's about simplicity of purpose,
Yeah.
simplicity of intention, right? When we have simple intentions, we could have $1 million in the bank, we could have 10 quid in the bank, we could have everything and we could have nothing, but the intention is very simple still. And it's not multifarious, it's not so complexified where we end up making detrimental decisions for ourselves as a result of getting, into this, what do they say? You get into the web of attachment. That's it, the web of attachment with all these things. And you're totally right. Like, it is about the intention, right? Like Yudhishthira Maharaj,
Yeah.
beautiful example of Yudhishthira, the head of the Pandava brothers who ruled the kingdom and the dynasty in ancient India. And it's an historic tale. And it said that Yudhishthira Maharaj was the king, and he obviously owned many kingdoms, governed many people, had a level of control. Control you can easily get attached to control, right? But what was really interesting, I was reading this particular passage and it said overnight when he was of a particular age, ready to, fully accelerate his spiritual life, he renounced everything overnight. He just let go.
Wow.
And he just walked. He just walked away. What was amazing for me in that scenario was, let's face it, that's pretty difficult for a lot of modern day individuals. But it wasn't the fact that he walked away from all of that stuff, was that he was able to do it with such ease, with such a moment's notice. And that was like, there must have been some level of internal detachment. He was ambitious, he was successful, had status, had control, had power. But there was a level of internal equilibrium and detachment and spiritual satisfaction that overnight could let all that go. Right? And that's something to be ambitious for, I guess. Like, that's quite powerful thing.
I think there's also, like, when you do have material status and material possessions, you're also tapping into a circle of influence that ordinarily you wouldn't if you didn't. Like, I know, for example, people that are very, very hyper wealthy that then use that influence towards directing people in the direction of Krishna and in the direction of Bhakti. And so it's not that we strive endlessly for success and power and control, but if Krishna gives it and he's, navigating ways in which he's reciprocating with your endeavor, then not to see that as, no, this is not good, like push it away. Because actually the lesson there is still, well, rather the principle is still that whatever is gifted to you, whatever is bestowed, received, should be used in Krishna's service. And I think then that purifies both the item itself and also our consciousness at the same time.
Yeah. I've been through this
Yeah.
in my mind many times, that because I'm really glad I did it the way around that I did, which is I had all the material success that society tells us that we have to strive for. I literally lived in Hampstead with my then fiance, and we had a Ferrari, and but it was like literally, and I was so unhappy. And I think because I had, like Raghunath always says, that the God-shaped hole inside, but I didn't realize that was what was missing in my life. But I just knew that this was not it. And so that when I walked away from all of that, I walked away from knowing what I didn't want, but I had no idea what I did want. But then I started having a lot of success with the pottery and the clay, and famous chefs were picking up my plates and using them. And then I started sort of feeling unworthy of that. And I think that at some point along my spiritual path, I realized that it's like when I sat in feeling unworthy or feeling guilty for being bestowed with this both material success, but also sort of success in the heart. Then when I felt guilty, I'd made it about me. And actually, it's not about me. And so then it was and then you sit in that like, oh God, it's like my false ego has made it about me. And so you have to, I think it's sort of like you're saying, accept what comes to you, accept what doesn't come to you. And either way, then make the most of it and offer it up, offer it to a higher purpose.
And who knows how long we have what we have. Like, something that my spiritual teacher often shares with me is the fact that right now there may be a wave of success and appreciation from others, and people really wanting to listen to your message, but that may not always be. And so when you've got it, use it or lose it.
Yeah, agree.
Use it or lose it. And if it is lost, then understand that was a wave, a time period in my life where that was happening. And okay, great, I gave my best in that time. And if it's meant to perpetuate, it will. If Krishna sees that I'm giving my best in this service, then he'll keep, giving different opportunities, and doors will continue to open. And we've seen examples of that, like some of the esteemed teachers in Bhakti, such as Radhanath Swami, Indradumna Swami. These are like great acharyas, almost like teachers by example that thousands of people flock to, that they continue to have successes well into their 60s and 70s. Mother Vishaka, Mother Urmila, Mahatma Prabhu. There's some really incredible teachers out there that are seeing students flocking to them to hear from them. And so the wave continues. They're using what God's given them, using what Krishna's given them. So I think that it's not wrong to strive for it, but if there's no reciprocation and we're not using it sincerely in Krishna's service, then just renounce it and move on.
Yeah.
No need to endlessly chase and hound something and become possessed and almost obsessed with doing it to get validation from a society. Because at the end of it all, it's between you and God. It's between you and Krishna. And I don't think Krishna really will look at how much, we did. I think he'll look at the sincerity with which we did it. I went on a bit of a rant there, didn't I?
No,
It's a good
you're
rant.
so right, yeah.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it goes back to what we were saying in the beginning, is this, what is the motivation? And actually, now I remember you said this to me one of the first times we ever met. I came to a lecture that you gave, and I think I asked something on the lines of, because I'd started running my own business, and sometimes I felt a bit that my brain was going to this place of like, but maybe we can make it a franchise, and maybe we can expand, and maybe we can. And so there was almost this like capitalist conditioning kept kicking in. And then I struggled a bit to sort of like, how do I make decisions on a business level while still being spiritual? And you said something really beautiful to me on the lines of, just ask yourself the question, is this for a higher good?
Yeah.
Like, why would I do this? Is it for a higher good?
Wow.
And I just thought it was so beautiful, and it's really profound, and it's really stayed with me, and I still to this day go sort of, and it's this checking in, what is my motivation? Why am I doing this? Yeah.
Totally.
You're a wise cookie.
Yeah, he
you are.
really is.
Huh?
You're a wise
No,
cookie.
no.
Krishna's given you the ability
s-
to think with clarity and intelligence. And
I'm surrounded by wise people, and I've
Yeah.
spent a lot of time trying to understand their wise words. That's all.
He's also very humble.
yeah.
No.
And I guess that's one of the themes that's come here, which is like, if Krishna gives it to you, remember Krishna's given it to you.
Mm.
you
Yeah,
know?
wow.
And to realize that all of these gifts are ultimately for God's service, and all of these gifts were given by God, will be used in God's service, and that's the safest place to be. Because if someone says, "Oh wow, this is going really well for you, and incredible how these things are really popping off, and all your ambitions are coming true, and all your blah 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 blah," then the easiest and safest zone to stay in is God's gift, and I'm using it back in God's service.
You know what's so interesting about the concept of like detachment is, you said rightfully so, it's a safe place to be. It's also a dangerous place to be in a good way.
Hold on to your seat. Oh.
In a good way. Because if
Hold on.
you're a detached person in today's day and age, you are at such an advantage over other people.
Mm.
Everyone is totally manipulated by their attachments. But your detachment is so refreshing. Like, you cannot control a detached person. You cannot influence a detached person because they're not influenced by things of this world. And it's such a powerful place to be. It's an opulence.
What do you mean that that's a dangerous place to be?
It's dangerous for the materialist.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
It's dangerous for the materialist. It's a weapon.
You're dangerous to society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are super danger. Danger mouse,
Like Danger Mouse.
Yeah, it's detachment is a weapon
Yeah.
against the force of materialism, and capitalism. It's.
I was walking through an airport with one of my teachers, and he said this profound statement. He said, "So amazing to see all the things that money can buy that one does not need to be happy."
One of my favorite authors, he's called Matt Haig, and he wrote this book called Reasons to Stay Alive. And in it, he says this really profound thing. He goes, "Happiness does not sell." And it's so profound because, and then he goes on to list all these reasons. And one of them, for example, is if women were happy with how they looked, they wouldn't buy wrinkle creams. And it's like, if we were all happy with what is and who we are and how we look and what we have, capitalism would just not exist because it would collapse. Like, the whole system is based on this sense of scarcity and sense of needing more and being different. It's like Radhanath Swami often says, we're the only species that regularly don't want to be who we are. It's like a bird never wakes up in the morning and goes, oh, I don't really want to be a sparrow or a, you know.
Thank God, that's so
That's
profound.
like the
That
human
is profound.
condition.
If only we knew Krishna loved us.
Oh,
Like
wow.
we knew it, not believed it, we knew. And like when we look at the material world with that lens, like look at all the things that our energy can buy, our desires can buy, that actually ultimately are not actually going to bring us happiness. And that detachment from it and seeing everything, that this is all Krishna's energy, this is all God's energy, this is all Brahman. You know, this is all his energy, all Radharani's Shakti.
The amount of sunglasses I've bought at airports. I don't know what it is about airports. It's like I always
A
feel like
fake
I have to-
discount, that's what it is, mate. It's a fake discount.
I always have to buy something.
Mug you off.
Cop like 5 sunglasses in the past month.
I mean, sunglasses are sort of useful.
Yeah, not
Using
5.
using Krishna service to protect your eyes, you know?
Yeah, I
So you can see the deity, you know?
Convince myself.
Convince-
Yeah.
On that note, we're going to end our conversation for today. How does it sit with you? What do you think about ambition and spirituality? Where do you sit with it all? Send us some comments below. We'll have a read. Maybe we'll do a follow-up conversation based on your comments. But thank you all so much for listening, for being with us today. And of course, thank you to the lovely Stine and Nāma for joining us this incredible episode. Join us again for another episode of For Soul's Sake. See you soon. Namaste.
If you love this podcast, you'll love my interview with Ambika Devi on how art and spirituality can be used to make a difference in this world.
The only way you can really be happy is when you serve others and when you have a purpose to connect with God. That's the only way you will be happy. Otherwise, no money, no fame, no beauty, nothing can really fulfill you, you know? And then we are living beings that the only thing that can fulfill us is love and service.